Welcome to the Mob Spot, folks. Today we have a special guest, a very well-known journalist, Anabel Hernandez.
¿Qué tal?
Welcome.
Thank
¿Qué
you,
tal?
thank you,
¿Qué tal?
thank you.
So we're going to do this interview. We're doing in English, of course, but we're bilingual, both of us. Her Spanish is much stronger than mine. My English is much stronger than hers. So we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. Anabel, my first question for you is, can you tell the audience where you came from, where in Mexico you were born, a little bit about your past?
Well, first of all, I am an investigative journalist. I have a career of more than 30 years doing this kind of investigations in Mexico. And as you well know, Mexico is one of the most dangerous places to be a journalist, sadly.
Yes.
More than 130 journalists have been murdered in the last 10 years. And in different moments in the last 20 years in my life, I could became one of these journalists murdered.
When did you start working as a journalist, and can you name the publication?
I have worked in almost all the most important newspapers in Mexico. I started in the newspaper Reforma in 1993. Then El Universal, Milenio, the magazine Proceso. I wasn't never interested in TV because I thought that TV is too much short to try to explain difficult, complex situations, complex problems that exist in Mexico. So
Details.
yes, so I really, where I am very, very strong is in the long-term investigations that can take me 4, 5 years, 6 years. And I am an author, so I publish my books with Penguin in Random House. That is one of the biggest editorials in the world. They publish my books in Spanish.
Let's talk about your books. How many have you written?
8.
Eight.
I start on 2005,
Wow.
and I have 8 books.
And which was the first book?
The first book was the presidential family. That was about the president of Mexico, Vicente Fox. And all the corruption of him and his family.
That's the very first one that you authored.
Yeah.
So your motivation to write that book was to expose the corruption at that time that was taking place?
Yes, that book, I started that investigation in 2001 after the murder of my father.
Something you can talk about. What happened with your father? If you can talk about it.
No. Yes. It's difficult to try to explain to the people what is Mexico and how Mexico have been very violent through many years. So we are talking about December of 2000 in Mexico City. Between 1998 and 2000, in Mexico City exist a lot of gangs that used to kidnap people just for money.
For money.
Child, woman, men. And many of these gangs were really very, very violent. They, for example, when they kidnap women, they used to rape them, film that, and send that to the family. You have to pay.
Yes, ransom. Yeah, kidnap.
And also they used to cut fingers and send even to the kids, the child, as a way to really push to the families to pay everything they ask.
Right.
And also, for example, they used to cut ears, and that was a really very, very violent time. And my father was kidnapped of one of these gangs, and I think I realize that my father he was tied, and I think my father tried to fight, and when he fight, they killed him.
They killed him.
So
Wow.
he was disappeared almost 24 hours. I was searching with my sisters and brother everywhere, and finally we found him. But that is one of the most painful moments in my life,
Right.
and that changed forever my point of view of everything.
So 2000 is when when you discovered
December of 2000.
and 2001 is when you wrote your first book?
No. I started the investigation. My first book was published on 2005.
Five.
Because these kind of investigations take time to
Yeah.
really have all the proofs to be able to say this president is corrupted. Until before that book that I published in Mexico, the figure of the president in Mexico was untouchable,
Right.
like God. They feel like God. So journalists, media, TV, newspapers, they didn't used to really request to the president for accountability.
Right.
No, and when I start to find all his corruption, I said, I have to publish this.
Yeah.
And many of my book and my investigations make that many laws in Mexico start to change because the position of that president start to change laws to try to stop the corruption and try to how can I say, just to stop the corruption.
So, let me ask, as you're telling me this, a thought that came to my mind was, did the murder of your father, did that motivate you to further in your investigations of exposing corruption and exposing other things?
Yes, because when we were going through all this pain, and we went to the police, to the government for us to ask for justice. We asked to the authorities, because it's the authorities, that is the role of the authorities.
Do your job.
They do their job, investigate and arrest to the people and put them in jail.
Right.
And they said yes, but since the first moment, they start to extortion to my family.
Right.
The police.
The police. Wow.
And asking for money if we want that they arrest to the people that murdered to my father.
Right.
So that was a very crucial moment, that's when you really discover how strong can be your values.
Right.
Because you in that moment you are very weak, you are desperate,
Right.
you are angry, you also want revenge.
Right.
You have many feelings inside you. So maybe the quick answer, okay, take the money and I want someone in jail.
Right.
But
So they
You
had their
cannot-
hand out. They had their hand out. They wanted you to pay them.
yes, to do their job.
Like a mordida, a bribe.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
And of course, as a family, we decide we cannot do that. First of all, because when you pay, you can't buy the justice. And if you pay for justice, what is justice? This policeman maybe goes, tortures someone, said, this is the guilty, go to the jail and pay more.
Right.
Forever. And so we decide we cannot pay, so they didn't do the job, and until now, I don't know who murdered my father. Who killed my father.
Let me ask you a question. You asked me off camera what motivated me to do things that I did in my life. That's a different story. I'm going to turn it around and ask you, the people that did what they did to your father and to other people, because they were, I'm
Yes.
sure, victimizing other people. Kidnap for ransom is a big crime, and it happens everywhere, but it did happen a lot in Mexico as well. In your investigations, what can you talk about that you've discovered about the mindset of people that would do that to your father? People like that.
Mindset. What is the
La
meaning?
mente, el modo de pensar. You asked me.
During my investigations, investigating the corruption, I was able to start to see some of the criminal files related with members, with the heads of these kind of gangs that did horrible things to the people to get the money.
Yeah.
And they really just did it because money, because for them doesn't mean anything the life. And through my investigation, I discovered that one chief of police in Mexico protect one of the worst gangs related with this. And was Genaro Garcia Luna.
Yes.
And Genaro Garcia Luna, after the years, he became the most powerful Secretary of Public Safety in Mexico. And after protect these gangs, he started to protect to the Sinaloa cartel.
How long did it take before that was revealed that this officer was dirty?
He started to become an officer, an official in Mexico, like in 91. And the first time that someone really was able to prove his corruption was me on 2008.
Right.
And then on 2010 I published one book that really put him in a very difficult situation.
What was your second book? We're jumping here and there. What was the second book?
My second book was my first book related with the corruption and drug cartels. Was the end of Fin de Fiesta en Los Pinos. How can I say that? Is the end of the party in Los Pinos. Los Pinos was the house, like White House,
Right.
was the house where the Mexican president used to live. And was, again, related with the last dirty business of the President Vicente Fox.
Oh.
But in that book, I wrote one chapter related with one governor of Mexico in Tamaulipas. And I was able to reveal that he was in the payroll of Los Zetas and El Cartel del Golfo. Because at that moment, I start to have sources inside the organized crime.
Right. Wow.
Yes.
So
That was my first book. Well, that was on 2006.
So 1 year after your
Yes.
first book. That's pretty fast. Your next book was, which one was your third?
Was on 2008, was the first book related with the corruption of Genaro Garcia Luna, that he was the head of he was the Secretary of Public Safety in all Mexico. And that book was very, 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 very detailed about corruption,
Right.
and involved. I reveal in this book that he was protecting to that gangs that used to kidnap the people. I was able to prove with documents that members of his team still doing that.
Yeah.
They he and his team were protecting one of in that moment, we are talking 2008, they were protecting one of the worst gangs that used to kidnap the people.
Right.
They kidnapped one girl. She was like 17, 18 years old.
Right.
They did horrible things to her. They video these things. They sent these videos to his father with all her underwear, and really was dramatic.
Right.
And I was able to prove with documents that he and his team were protecting these monsters.
Why were the prosecutors slow in prosecuting him, bringing him to trial?
The big problem in Mexico related with the justice, I said this in the conference, but almost the 97% of all the crimes in Mexico, smaller and bigger crimes, are impuned. Why? Because the first persons that have the responsibility to investigate one crime is the police. And the police in Mexico is like this police, very corrupted. If the police are protecting the cartels, if the police are protecting the gangs, if the police are involved, you will never get justice. So many people ask me when I went to denounce the crime of my father, when I went to there, the police ignored me. They asked me the money, ignore me. They didn't give me justice. But my case is just one of millions of cases in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So many of the cases even never arrived to the judge, never. Because the police didn't do their job, so you don't have a case, you don't have suspects, you don't have arrest, and no one goes to the judge to be judged.
Yes.
So it's a huge crisis since many years ago.
I feel your passion. You have a passion. You were very determined, and I can feel that determination. I think the viewers can feel that too. Did your dad motivate you? What happened with your father?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but and I think that maybe you can understand better than many other people the feeling that you can have, the anger that you can feel, and the questions that everyone can do to themselves. Okay, your father, that was a very important figure in your life, just one day is dead, and in this way.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone can think about self-justice.
Right.
If you ask me, you were able to do an investigation by yourself, Anabel Hernandez, and discover who did it, I'm sure, 100% sure that I was able to do it. But I declined. Because, okay, I know who did it, and then the police will do nothing. So what I will do me, what I will do. I didn't want to go to that question because it's a question that has no answers.
So you had many emotions colliding.
Yeah.
Justice, revenge. You had many of these feelings. You're a trained journalist. You've written, this is your third book, and you've mentioned this Officer Luna, this official Luna now. And now we're getting to your fourth book. What was your fourth book? We'll get back to Luna. What was your fourth book?
Well, first of all, I have to say that I don't want revenge.
No?
I don't believe in revenge.
Okay.
I don't believe in revenge. I believe in justice.
Okay.
So, what I did to try to resolve these things and questions for myself is okay. I'm not able. I have to confess to myself that I will not be able to give justice to my father. I will not be able. That is the truth, and it's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But I can give justice to others.
Yeah.
And the only way, because I'm not a policeman, I'm not a prosecutor, I'm not a politician, I'm just a journalist. For me, the only way to give justice to the people is giving the truth. Investigate and give the truth.
Right.
And sometimes, I have been very lucky, I have to say. Yeah. Sometimes, some of my cases of investigations became a trial.
Right, right.
Some authorities take them like, okay, this is a good investigation. They done their own investigation. They get the same conclusions, and they arrest people.
Right. So revenge was never at the beginning.
No,
I think.
no. At the beginning, I felt it. Of course, I felt it.
Yes. Yes.
But I thought that feeling is not for me. I'm not that kind of person.
Okay.
I don't like that sensation.
Right.
I don't think it's the way where we should live. So we have to, of course, work about that feeling and
Right.
transform that feeling in
Yes.
something different. And the something different is this what I do with my work as a journalist.
And that's how you do it. And so it took a little bit of healing. You're healing a little bit from what happened, but at the same time you're looking for the justice that you say. And now you're into book number 4. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that book.
The book 4 is Los Señores del Narco, the bestseller, one of the bestseller in my career.
Yes.
On 2010, where I was able really to show how to the society, to the world, how the so-called war against drugs of the Mexican government was a fake thing. Mm-hmm. I was able to show how the president, how the secretary of public safety, how many other people were involved with the Sinaloa cartel. And that created really an earthquake in the criminal system in Mexico.
The ugliness of collusion between the government and organized crime in Mexico, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, what a task for you to undertake that. And I'm sure you experienced some grief as a result of your investigation. Grief is people threatening you, people making you giving you problems, making you worry a little bit, concern for your safety. Did that come into play as a result?
Yes. Since 2008, when I published this book of Genaro Garcia Luna, he and his team tried to meet me. He and his team start to arrest me. And when I published this book on 2010, they were crazy. They get crazy.
Intimidation?
And at that moment, was not any more intimidation. They just made a plan to kill me without notice. No one called me to tell me, Anabel, we want to kill you. If you don't stop, we will kill you. No, they just decided, we will kill her and we will end this problem forever.
Sure.
I was able to get the notice of this on time because one of my sources was there inside in all this meeting when they decide to kill me in revenge, in retaliation, in revenge for this book.
So what makes you different? There's something different about you, Anabel, I gotta tell you. What makes you different than other journalists, many who I've known about, who would not, the minute they hear that their life is in danger, they're gonna run and they're gonna hide. Why didn't Anabel run and hide?
I don't have answers to that, because I have to say that even before the death of my father, I have never been one of the people that run. I always like to face the things.
You were confrontational.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of, that is not my personality. And I have to say that was not the personality of my father. My father was a man that liked to fight for what he believes.
Are you a person of faith? Do you have faith in God?
Yes, I have a lot.
So my answer to you as a believer in Christ is that God has had your back.
I'm sure about that.
Yeah. He's had your back.
I'm sure about it. And I can tell you many times that just God saved me. No one else could do that.
Right.
Just God.
Yeah.
I'm sure about that. I don't have doubts about
Right.
it. For me, it's clear.
Right. There's a scripture that says, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. In other words, once you leave your body, you're present with the Lord. You're with God. So anyway, that's a different thing. So book number 5.
Book number 5 was Mexico on Fire. I published this book on 2012. Was very fast because I was able to discover that Genaro Garcia Luna was planning to live to United States.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
He was buying a huge mansion in Florida, in Golden Beach or something like that.
Okay.
Millions of dollars, one house of $3 million. His wife buy a restaurant, and they start to move there
He had
to
a very-
do the great life. I said, what? No.
Yeah.
You are not going anywhere without the notice of everyone that you are running, and that you have this amount of money that you are able to keep all the properties that I discovered in my investigation about him. He keep them. It's not that, okay, I sell my properties and then with this money I bought this mansion in Miami Beach. No.
Miami Beach.
He keep his properties and also buy this mansion in Miami Beach. So, which is the origin of this money? That was always my question. So I published this book on 2012, and of course, he was more angry with me.
Did you follow the money trail?
Yes, of course, that is the key.
And it didn't match.
No, of course not.
El sueldo.
He has his salary. Yes, was a good salary, of course.
Yeah.
But he has his wife and 2 child that were in very, very expensive private college. So he have a lot of expenses, a luxury life, expensive cars, expensive watches, expensive clothes, expensive properties, and his salary doesn't match. With his salary, he will never be able to pay that life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
that money came from the Sinaloa cartel, from the millions of dollars that the Sinaloa cartel paid to these corrupted policemen.
So this Genaro Luna, his name, again, you've mentioned him. let's get to book number 6. I'm still waiting for the one you did on the women. You did some women, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Took me time to understand, because I think that that's important, that a journalist is focused in one issue. I know that many journalists are focusing this and this and this and this. They want to do everything. I am the kind of person that I'm not that smart to be able to do good everything. So I think that I need to specialize to something, focus on something, and really study every part of that something. So I decided to study very deeply the Sinaloa cartel. That is one of the most important organized crime organizations in the world. So on 2016,
Okay.
so from 2012, my next book was on 2016.
4 years later.
And this is a very, very special book for me. It's one of my favorites. I think that con humildad, with
What was the title?
humble, ¿cómo se dice?
El título.
No, con humildad, how can I say that?
Say it again.
Con humildad, with humble, I have to say that is like a criminal file done by a prosecutor. My book is like, I did my investigation like a prosecutor. It's exact.
Right.
It's exact.
In other words, it was good enough to submit to a prosecutor.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, that at the end happened. So, yes. So, was an investigation related with the disappearance of 43 students, very young and poor men,
Yes.
young men, in Iguala Guerrero on 2014 during the attack and disappearance committed by one drug cartel with the assistance and complicity of the Army, Federal Police, local police, and judicial police. All these forces against just very poor students. And they disappeared them. And until now, no one knows what happened with them.
Wow.